So we're down at the shop today on the excavator, and we're going to do a little bit of road bond grading before we get too many freeze thaw cycles. A lot of the gravel's come up to the surface, and I just will need to kind of get it a little closer than it is now. It's pretty gravelly. They're always, this is usually the very last pass finish grading is usually easier with a tractor, but you can do it with an excavator. I'm going to kind of show you how I use my grading bar and my back blade and get this gravel cleaned up, at least to the point where it'll start packing down again. And that should get me for the winter, hopefully. Anyway, stay tuned. This is the easiest way I found to basically till up road. It's pretty quick. It's probably quicker than a tractor because you can pretty much get it kind of in one pass. Sometimes it's pretty controllable. Keep this grading bar angled. It'll kind of keep all the gravel where it's supposed to be, and it makes a pretty good surface. It's winter, so I'm waiting on this gravel to kind of make it through a couple of frost cycles, get it good mixed up, and it'll basically turn into pavement. After you drive over it a little bit and get the mix consistent, you kind of see there I got a little more gravel. Gravel on the edges and road bond on the sides, kind of getting that mixed up a little bit. This is where it's handy to really learn your machine and get comfortable about using the foot pedals while you're moving. It really speeds this process up. And what I'm doing is my right side is always a little higher than the left side, so I'm using my left side as a guide to see where my level's at. Let's go down through here and get this filled in. I've got my blade down just a slight bit just to kind of catch any big piles of gravel that I'll go over underneath. Just kind of speeds this process up a little bit. And one thing you'll kind of learn a little bit about keeping the crown of your road. Usually if you're on a perfectly, this hill kind of over on the right hand side, as we get on down through here, I get a more normal crown. But right here where I'm at, it kind of crowns off from the right to the left, direct. But we're going to keep that crown. You kind of see I've got a little bit of slack in my grade bar, so I can keep the crown of the road real nice. Basically, I try to do this every winter. Definitely you want to try to do it, if you got a big fifth wheel, you want to try to do it before camping season. Really what we're looking for is just kind of mix this up a little bit, keep everything as smooth as possible. Once we drive over it a few times at one time, it'll be right for the season, which is in just a few months. Kind of when I started this, I basically just had a big load of gravel somewhere where I didn't need it, which is right on top. And now I've kind of got a mix of the road bond material, the fines. Clean it up really nice. And I'll probably go over this one time and back blade it. But we're moving quite a bit of material here. I put a little bit extra gravel down in the summer. starting to look really nice up through there. Get down here, I'm going to kind of adjust where I'm at. It almost gets too wide to reach. I'm going to make a really slow stroke here. If you're wondering how to keep this level, it was kind of, if you do it a few times and get used to it, just take some patience. Kind of get your stick movement sorted out where you're keeping it level naturally once you get it kind of flowing. And I've found, maybe not trying to run wide open, but you definitely want to try to keep the stick moving, and you'll get a good feel for getting a good level. I'm going to try to break this edge off over here since the water has somewhere to go. A lot of times during the summer, if I know I'm going to get a lot of rain, put a couple little steps in. Because basically what you want to do is you don't want water running down directly on the road. You want it going off to either both sides or one side and exiting without building up a lot of speed. And this works pretty well. You can clear a lot of ground relatively fast using this method. I used to do this with the little Massey, and when it got this bad, it took a really long time to move the dirt where you wanted it. And, a lot of trips up and down the hill with the Massey. Some of this gravel mixed up here with this road bond, that can only help us keep that edge broke down. Get further down here, I want this bull nose edge. And there's railroad tie. Seems to do a little better on the harder pack stuff. The upper part, I was starting to spin. There was so much gravel and not enough material that it packed together. It's pretty difficult to get up and down the hill. Machine placement has a lot to do with how well this works. I've kind of done this so many times now, it just kind of comes natural. I kind of hug that left-hand side coming down, and then as I get further down, I get more towards in the middle. That's kind of where I'm at now. Basically, I'm moving a lot more material using this method than I am even with the blade. It works pretty well going up or down. I've done it in both directions. Just kind of get everything broke up. Then you go over it with a back blade and get it really smooth. we're getting to the part where it's good and stable. So I'll pull it down just a little bit further, and I'll use what's left to kind of push and get everything back bladed and smooth back down. Excavator, trying to keep the slope that I want just by feel. Just kind of feather the blade where I want it. I'll make a single pass, and I'll use that center pass as my reference for back blade. So the rows that I make off to the side, I'll come back with a back blade and scrape those rows down. Just want to make sure you get a really good level, clean pass and going really slow. And we're just going to look behind us here, and we're going to straddle our rope. Make this gentle contact with the ground here. You don't want to dig too deep. We'll knock this row down, and the spoil that's in the row will level out our road. This time for a purpose. Really needed some rain. It was too dry to really do anything with. Kind of needed to clump together, build together. It's just at the right consistency. It's not too wet. What you want to do when you're smoothing this out, you definitely don't want any material going off the edge of the blade. You want to be just have material just in front of the blade. You can adjust, make multiple passes, kind of like what I'm doing here. If you start digging down and you're not pushing material off to the side, you'll just get deeper and deeper instead of actually spreading and smoothing. Make our final pass on the edge here. This final pass, we're going to go really slow. Just really pay attention to our blade. Pay attention to the position of the machine. Every so often, if you have a mirror, you should look up and make sure there's nothing behind you. Really all we're doing is kind of blending this in with our center pass that we made. this with a 1-ton a few times to get this packed down good, maybe a little finished back rack after that's done. But at least now I don't have a big road full of just gravel. I've got some fines mixed in now. Should make it a lot better. That is certainly more better right there. It always helps to be more better. Alright, so I don't want to overwork this. I've got it pretty happy with this. I'm just going to kind of just skim the top of this as I go back down, just to catch anything I may have missed. As you can see where my track wrench around, it's packing down really, really well. And it'll pack down even better when I drive over with something heavier with tires. So I hope that helps some folks, and that's kind of how you do road bond grading with an excavator. We'll see you on the next one.